It's been 5 years since I first came to the gardens here at Dewstow. They were built by a guy called Henry Oakley around 1900. And guess what? They're still finding more of his work. How much more is there to discover of his work here, John?
Well, we're not sure how much more there is to discover, but we think most of it's been uncovered now, but, you know, we thought that before, and still things continue to appear.
Now tell us about your family's connection with the estate here.
My family's connection started in the late 40s when my grandfather came to work on the estate as a farm manager and bailiff. Eventually he became a tenant of Dewstow Farm, and we've been here ever since, really.
Because you're not farming as much now, are you?
No, in 1987 we began diversifying into the golf industry on a small scale with a 9-hole course. That's subsequently now grown into 18-hole courses, and that's the main business now.
John and his family were aware there had once been grand gardens on their land, but they had no idea of the true extent of the treasures that lay hidden. It was when they were doing some work on the grounds around the house some 7 years ago that all started to be revealed. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, I think you were digging out these ponds here last time I was here, weren't you?
That's right. 5 years ago we had just discovered this chain of lily ponds. They were buried to about this level, and we saw a strangely carved rock at the end. The rock was the waterfall, and again, we found the top pond, continued to dig in, and all these other ponds appeared.
Now, the planting you've done here, is that more or less the same as it would have been done by Oakley?
Well, we don't know. In the absence of records and photographic evidence, we just don't know. So we're planting it how we feel is right.
Now, what do we know about this man, Henry Oakley?
Not much. He was quite reclusive, and basically he was known as Squire Oakley locally, and he employed a lot of people and ran the farm estate until his death in 1940.
He must have had a tremendous amount of money to spend on this garden.
Well, he never married, which probably helped, and he, yeah, a lot of his main interest seemed to be garden, and with all the tropical houses and glass houses that were here at the time, yes, must have been a very expensive hobby. We don't believe there was a bridge here originally, but it seems to go nicely here.
Now, if my memory serves me correctly, is this where we were digging out before?
That's right. 5 years ago, all this area was still being uncovered and landscaped, and I believe the bog garden hadn't been planted or the bridge hadn't been fitted at that stage. Well, this garden is the only formal area in the South Gardens. We found the rough outline of it. All the walls had collapsed, and so in the last few years the new slabs have been put in, the water system been made. Apparently this was Henry Oakley's favourite spot, and he used to sit in here, read his book, and just over the way there's a ha-ha ditch running the whole length, which would help to not spoil his view, so he could look at all the livestock in the rest of his acreage.
How much has it cost you to unearth these gardens?
Well, it's cost a substantial amount of money, and now we're at the stage where we need to try and get some back, which is why we're opening it to the public.
And you haven't had any grants or help at all, have you?
We've had no grant aid, no. We were fortunate in the early days because of the golf course. In the winter of the early years, the golf course labour did a lot of the excavation through the winter months when they were finding things to do. So from that point of view, it's helped us, but no grants, no.
And later on in the programme, I'll be going underground here at the gardens at Dewstow.